really good care of yourself. So today we're doing the part 2 of my ranking or rating, whatever you want to call it, Durham colleges. Today we're going to do the BEDE plus St. HILD and BEDE because they're a bit like you. So they're not in one concrete category, they're just there. But if you have not watched part 1 of the series, I would really recommend. It's gonna be up in the cards for you to watch. Basically my grading follows 4 categories: location, aesthetic, my experience, and overall vibe. And the vibe I have to sum up in one sentence. Like I said in part 1, if you're in one of these colleges and you don't necessarily agree with what I'm saying, please disagree with me in the comments, but do it respectfully. If I say something negative about a college, I'm not saying every person in that college is this way, everything about that college is this way. It's just kind of a general thing. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's get to it. So I think I said this in part 1, but if you see me looking down a lot, it's because I have my iPad and I have like notes and notes written about all the colleges, so I know what I want to say so I don't ramble too much. So first on the BEDE, we're going to talk about St. Cuthbert's Society, which is my college that I'm unofficially a part of. Its nickname is CUTH'S. It was founded in 1888. It is the 3rd ever college at Durham from what I could find, and it was founded for local immature students that didn't want to stay at either Hatfield or the castle. It's named after St. Cuthbert. Also, he was famously buried in Durham Cathedral, and St. Cuthbert is responsible for the spread of Christianity to the northeast of England, and he's the patron saint of Northumbria, which is the early Anglo-Saxon kingdom where Northumbria, Cumbria, Tyne and Wear, Durham, Yorkshire, Lancashire, Merseyside, I hope I say that right, and parts of Cheshire now exist. So it has 433 rooms for freshers. So CUTH'S is made out of 2 different housing areas. One is on the BEDE and one is not on the BEDE but very close to town. I call it Brooks. I don't think it's actually called Brooks, but that's what I call it. And it's both catered and uncatered, and apparently partly catered, where I don't know if it's you either get breakfast or dinner. If someone knows this, please comment down below. I couldn't find anything about it. I think all of the BEDE is catered or partially catered, and all of Brooks is uncatered. I know all of Brooks is uncatered from what at least I know. So location, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Brooks CUTH'S is 15 minutes to Sydneyse, 10 minutes to Albert Riverside, and 10 minutes to town, and you walk along the river and it's a really stunning walk, honestly. BEDE CUTH'S is 10 minutes to Sydneyse, 10 to Albert Riverside, and 10 to town. So the walk to Albert Riverside and town is the same for both. It's just 5 minutes less on the BEDE. I believe the route you take also goes along the river for most of it. It's a really pretty walk. Like I said in part 1, also the walk to town for anywhere that's catered isn't necessarily for food or groceries. It's more for like going out. So that's something I would keep in mind if you like going out and socializing and going to bars and clubs is something you really want to do at uni. I would really think about the walk home. It's not as far out of the hill colleges, but the BEDE in town is really hilly, so I would keep that in mind. The aesthetic, I'm gonna give a 7 out of 10. It has the best boat club out of all of them, and I don't just say that because I am cuff rowing. It's stunning. The BEDE CUTH'S is very plain as BEDE colleges go. It's like very nondescript. I took my parents past it the first time last year. I showed my mom, I was like, yeah, like this is a college I really like, this is where all my friends are, like this is where I want to be next year, and she was like, that's it. Like, all the other ones have like grand entranceways and this is like white. Brooks CUTH'S is right next to the river and the cricket ground, so it's really pretty. It's by a lot of fields. However, it is very near the prison, and I have heard both about Hatfield and about CUTH'S that if you're on the top floor of the housing you can see into the prison yard. I don't know if that's true for CUTH'S, and I don't know if it's true for Hatfield, but I've heard it for both. Sometimes you hear Brooks called prison CUTH'S. I didn't know that until this year. One of my housemates told me because they were fresher, they were in Brooks CUTH'S, and I almost peed myself. It was so funny. I've been in rooms in Brooks and they're pretty standard uni rooms. The kitchens are a really good size and some of them have really gorgeous views of the river. Rooms in the BEDE are old as heck, but what would you expect? Like, I think anyone on the BEDE that really complains about the rooms, it's like, get a grip. You're living in something that's 150 years old. That's bad math, but we'll do it, whatever. I've heard the catering is all right on the BEDE as well, but I don't know. My experience, however, is a 9 out of 10. The people of CUTH'S are beyond amazing. I think they are one of the most accepting and welcoming colleges, and that's kind of what CUTH'S is known for. I think I also heard that CUTH'S is known for being a party college. I've never heard that, but I was watching someone else rank the colleges and they called it a party college. I was like, as for any college, there are gonna be a few people you don't get on with, but I think like that's just people, you know? I'm taking a point off. The bar, it is the Hunger Games for seating. You have to get there like when it opens or like within an hour of it opening if you want to like sit and have a chat, and it gets really packed and really warm very quick. But they do have the best college drink, so that kind of makes up for it. It's called the Frog, and it is the reason anything I see vaguely like frog coated, like my Build-A-Bear, I have to buy frog things now. This is Birdie because it's a double pun because St. Cuthbert's Society, but I'm from Alberta, Canada, so it works twice. Or like anything green, I buy a lot of. I never liked the color green, and then I started liking cuths, and now I need everything green. I think Birdie's gonna have to hang out with me. I'll put him out of frame, but he's gonna have to hang out with me for the rest of the video. I'm gonna get really sappy here. This college honestly came into my life when I was in a really dark spot last year and really homesick and not knowing if I wanted to be in Durham. Like genuinely last year I was gonna go home, but I got taken in by a great group of people and I was introduced to even more people in cuths that I just adore so much. This is so cheesy. And I honestly credit them and my boyfriend who's cuth with being the reason I stayed in Durham. So grateful for this college because they're also the reason I've fallen in love with rowing, and I love my teammate. We have the best banter. They're just the sweetest humans alive. I love cuths so much. So overall vibe, I'm giving a 9 out of 10. So it is great people, great college, great vibe. So their total score comes to a 31 out of 40. So next we have St. John's, aka John's. They were founded in 1909 but didn't become official college until 1919. It's named after St. John, who is a patron saint of love, loyalty, friendships, and authors. It has 180 rooms for freshers. It is a gowned college and it is a catered college. Forgot to say that about cuths. Cuths is not gowned. Location, 6 out of 10. It is a similar location to Bailey Cuths, 15 minute to Science Site, 10 to Albert Riverside, 8 to town. For your walk into class, you can choose to either walk along the river or walk through town. It's about the same either way. They're really pretty walks. When it's raining, miserable. You are gonna fall so many times. However, there's the bridges and you can take like aesthetic cathedral photos every day. Love it. Aesthetic, 6 out of 10. It's more like descriptive of a college. Like, you know, like when you get there, it says like St. John's, there's like steps up. You know where you are, you know what's going on. It's a nice building, but it's still like pretty old. They have a brand new library though, and it is stunning. If anyone could smuggle me into that library, I would very much appreciate it. I think if I was like John, I would be so much more productive of a human being if I could like access that library. I am taking massive points off for the bar. It is like a cellar vibe. It's cute in that way. And yeah, there's stairs to get in and out, and I've almost stacked it down the stairs. There's a bit you can hit your head on if I remember right, and I've almost concussed myself so many times. My experience is a 7 out of 10. I've not met many people from John's, but those that I have been really polite. I don't like, they're really kind, but like polite is like the nicest way to put it. I think Bailey colleges have a bit more of a reputation of being people from like privately educated backgrounds, so maybe it's not. Again, bar is cool, gets very busy very fast, can be overwhelming. I have walked into that bar sopping wet from the rain, like tank top, hoodie, coat, umbrella, jeans are soaked. I leave dry and in a tank top. Like, it's so warm, it's so packed. I would say if you are a fresher or if you're a master's student coming to Durham, unless you're John's, I wouldn't really start a bar crawl there because it just gets very overwhelming and it kind of puts you off college bars for a bit. Fair, the staff is always lovely and chatty, and the college drink is really good. I couldn't find what it was called, but I remember it being like fluorescent blue. So overall vibe, I'm gonna give it 6 out of 10. It could be the full Bailey College package, but just with a well-ventilated bar. If they could find a way to put some ventilation instantly, they'd get like a better vibe score, they would get a better aesthetic score, and they might get a better experience score. Just saying, John's. So their total score comes to a 25 out of 40. So next we have St. Chad's College, aka Chad's. It was founded in 1904. It was hostile at first, apparently, and was officially recognized as a Durham College in 1918, so the same year as John's. It's named after St. Chad, which this for the second to last time. Duh. St. Chad is famous for being the abbot at several ministries and also spreading Christianity in Northumbria and the Mercians and Lindsays. Again, if you don't know what Northumbria is, go watch my bit on cuths, get a little refresher, come back. So St. Chad is the patron saint of American frat boys who have lawyer daddies and wear like salmon colored shirts all the time. That's a joke. He's actually a patron saint of medical springs. Weird flex, but okay. Unclear how many rooms they have for freshers, and apparently a lot of the time in Chad's you're sharing a room. Ew. This is very common in North America, and I think this is the biggest thing because I went to Canadian University for 3 years, 2 years technically, when I was on a year abroad. When I was a fresher, my parents kind of wanted me to go into dorms to like make friends and have a unique experience, and I was like, I can't share a room with someone. Like, there's some nights I can't even share a bedroom with my boyfriend. There's nights my boyfriend will be like, can I stay over tonight? And I'm like, no. It is catered for undergrads, but there's potential if you're postgrad to be self-catered, which is interesting, and it is a gowned college. Location, I'm gonna give a 7 out of 10. All the Bailey colleges tend to be like the same walking wise, so it's 12 minutes to the Science Site, 8 to Albert Riverside, 5 to town, but it's like dead center of the Bailey. It's just in a really good spot because you can choose to go to the cathedral, you can choose to make your way up the Bailey, you can choose make your way down the Bailey. But it's a really good place as like a meeting spot. My friends were on a bar crawl last year and we like needed somewhere to meet. We'd be like, oh, Chad's, because it's like in the middle, even if people are like all over the place. Aesthetic, I'm gonna give a 6 out of 10. It is a really stunning building. Again, it's a very descript college. You look at it and you go, ah, yes, that is a college. The bar is stunning. I think it is one of the best college bars. It has like a downstairs bit like John's that is gross. However, it's in this like, I want to say like atrium, but but that's all right. Like it has like a glass ceiling and like a chandelier in it. It's so stunning. Like it makes me want to put on a sparkly dress and act out the Love Story music video from Taylor Swift. I know that is very niche, but let me have my moment. Like that's what I want to do in that room. The one thing I will say is the downstairs part has like a cool like London Underground map for all the colleges in Durham, and I think some of the buildings, if I remember right, like some of the like bars and stuff, which I think is really cool. In terms of the rooms, they just look really dated, but they have some of the best views of the cathedral. There's a girl I follow on TikTok who's CHATFIELD this year, and she has the best view of the cathedral, and I'm so jealous. My experience, I'm gonna give a 6 out of 10. Everyone I've met that's CHATFIELD is so smart. I didn't realize this until I googled. Apparently CHATFIELD has the best results as like a collective out of the entire university, which just makes so much sense. They're always like super studious and like doing their work. They're on that grind. Good for them. Couldn't be me. If you get a place when you go and you get a spot in the upstairs bar, it's like the best spot to be. Downstairs bar is a bit like John's, where it's just like icky and warm and sweaty and stinky and not great. There's like that gif of Jordan Peterson, I think it is, of like him like with a sweat dripping down his face. That's how I feel in their downstairs bar. It is icky, icky, icky. So for their overall vibe, I'm gonna give them a 6 out of 10. I either feel like Taylor Swift or that gif of Jordan Peterson while I'm here, and there's no in between. So their total score comes to a 25 out of 40. All right, next we have HATFIELD. It does have a nickname, but we will get to it in a minute. Fact sheet: it was founded in 1846. It was originally meant for students that couldn't afford to live at University College. Yeah, we'll talk about University College in a minute, but this is like a bit ironic considering the current times. Named after Thomas Hatfield, a bishop of Durham, and one of the last warrior bishops of England. They're basically holy warriors. Pop off, I guess. 310 rooms for freshers and is catered and gowned. Location, I'm gonna give a 6 out of 10. It's like the first college on what I would call like the main drag of the Bailey. It's 15 minutes to Science Site, 7 to Albert Riverside, 3 to town. You can't beat that walk to town. It is the closest college to town. I would go out every night. Even though they're catered, I would go to Tesco's every day and just like buy an apple because I could. This year I have like 10-15 minute walk to town and it kills. I'm so grateful that I have a boyfriend with a car that can take me to Big Tesco because oof, that walk kills. It's a bit of a hike to your classes compared to the other Bailey colleges, so that's just kind of something I would keep in mind. Aesthetic, 6 out of 10. It has a really nice courtyard that I do really like, and the mix of buildings is cool because I guess all of them were kind of built at different times, but not something I would personally do. The bar is meh. It's a weird shape. There's like steps to go up to the bar that I always fall. I'm gonna be dead sober in there and I will trip up those stairs. It does have like a huge gate on it, which is kind of a sleigh. The rooms also look really, really nice. However, one of their housing blocks is not on the Bailey. This is what I was talking about with CUTH'S. It's like across the street from the student union, and apparently if you're on the top floor of that one, you can also see into the prison yard. I don't know if that's true. If it is true or false, please confirm in the comment section, but I've heard it from like multiple people, including one of my housemates last year that was HATFIELD. So my experience, 5 out of 10. They have a bit of a reputation. No, I'm gonna, again, disclaimer, this is not all HATFIELD students. I've met some HATFIELD students that are really, really lovely. However, when I meet these HATFIELD students, and it's a very Durham thing of like, oh, what's your name? What are you studying? What year are you? What college are you? And they'll go HATFIELD and they'll immediately go not by choice though. And it's the fact that the nice people in the college have to go not by choice. They were just like assigned there. By reputation, it's a bit snooty, privately educated, very wealthy, you know, shop at Waitrose, unironically wear a signet ring, you know the vibe. This takes me to HATFIELD's nickname, which is HATFIELD, arguably a little bit funny, kind of mean, and it's true. I have had some choice interactions with people at HATFIELD. Like I was saying, the bar is meh. It's a weird shape and there's like a step. At least I remember there always being a step up to the bar, and there's never any seating, like ever. Like you always end up like awkwardly sharing a table with people, and I'm not here for that, you know? It's just a bit ironic how HATFIELD started versus how it is now. Or overall 6 out of 10 actually. There's a few bad apples that ruin it for the entire tree, which is a shame because it could be a really lovely tree, but it's not staying true to its roots. I was writing the script, I was busting out those tree puns. Overall, its score comes to a 23 out of 40. So we have University College, which is Castle. I honestly hear them called Castle more than I do University College. When I like first came to Durham and I would see people wearing like University College stuff, I was so confused. I'm a little bit dumb. It's this entire series, and like anything I do about Durham is just me embarrassing myself about stupid things I didn't know about Durham. Like I came here clueless. So it was founded in 1832. It is the earliest of the Durham colleges, also hence the name University College. Also Castle comes from the fact that it's in a literal castle, like it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. But we'll come back to that in the aesthetic section. It has 250 rooms for freshers, but not all of them are in the college apparently. I didn't know this. Some are in another building that we'll talk about when we cover our next college. And because of that split, if you live in college you're catered, but if you live outside of college you're uncatered. I genuinely didn't know they had people that didn't live in college. Location, 6 out of 10. It's 15 minutes from Science Site, 10 to Albert Riverside. Google Maps said 3 to town. I think it's more like 5 to town. Similar to HATFIELD, again, not phenomenal walk to class, but you're so close to town, so you kind of get points for that. The thing is it's like a bit tucked back from everything because it's the main bit with the cathedral. It's not like on the Bailey, so I think that kind of affects your aesthetic. 9 out of 10. Like, it's a castle, come on, you gotta give it a 9 out of 10. Like, it's so cool. They literally filmed pieces of Harry Potter in there. This is me being a massive nerd, me also saying I don't support JK Rowling. Imagine like telling your friend like back home, like, no, you went to Durham, whatever, and it's like, yeah, like I slept in a castle this year, like I slept in a UNESCO World Heritage. Like, that's such a flex. Super historical and stunning. There's a free tour you can do. I've never done it, but I love hanging out in the courtyard because free hack, there's like guards out there at like the front. If you tell them you're a student and you're like, I just want to hang out here, I'm going to the toasty bar, I'm not actually this college, sometimes they let you sit in the courtyard and work at the picnic table, and I feel so productive, mostly because there's so many windows looking out at you, and I feel bad if I'm just like sitting there. On the flip side, it being a castle and being super old, the rooms are interesting. Some of them are huge, some of them are tiny, some of them have like new bits of furniture. I've also heard they have a silverfish problem and a rat problem. I've heard this like down the pipeline of like castle people, and also when I went on my year abroad, they had to like prep us before we came over, and they had said in previous years they'd had students that were staying in the castle and came home complaining about it. And the bar is under the castle, which is sick. Really cool bar. It's all like stone, and my experience, 8 out of 10. Most people I know from castle are super chill and nice. I have 2 or 3 friends from my modules that are castle and they're lovely and I miss them, but there are some that you meet that think because they're castle, they're God's gift to academia, they're living their little like dark academia fantasy, they think they're smarter than you. Like, if you've read The Secret History by Donna Tartt, you know what I mean. They're like, they think they're in that like little group, which I mean, if I lived in the castle I would act that way too, but it gets a bit old. I'm the pot calling the kettle black by saying like, don't make the college your personality, when I literally owned a stuffed frog and I'm not even actually cussed, but look how cute he is. But they do make the college a bit of their personality. So the bar is sick though. It is like under the college. I have this really cute picture of my boyfriend from last year, RIP blonde hair Sid. I think she's coming back. It's also where my boyfriend and I agreed that we were boyfriend and girlfriend, so I think that's really cute. Overall vibes, 7 out of 10. I mean, it's a castle. I am taking points off for the people I know in my modules, the silverfish, and the rooms being like very inconsistent. So their overall score comes to a 30 out of 40. This is the last college I actually get to talk about, and it's St. Hild and St. Bede, aka Hild and Bede or Hill Bede. People kind of call it whatever. It was founded in 1839 and 1858, but they combined in 1975, and they're named after St. Hild and St. Bede. For the final time, let's say it together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Duh. St. Hild founded a monastery in Whitby and is a patron saint of learning and culture, and St. Bede was a very important Middle Ages scholar and is a patron saint of scholar. Checks out. They have 200 rooms for freshers, but they are doing renovations. If you apply to be in this college, I don't think you're gonna live in college. I think you're gonna live in Rushford Court, where people from Castle are living this year. It's in the viaduct. Catered and self-catered due to people living out with the renovations. I think it's gonna be completely uncatered. I don't know if they have people living in while they're doing renos. I can't imagine they would. Maybe reach out to the college, find that yourself, or if you're St. Hild and Bede and you know, please comment down below. And it is not a gowned college. Did I say that about Castle? Castle's a gowned college. I'm really great at this. Location 4 out of 10. It's in such a random place and it's right next to a really busy road. It has a really good view of the river, and they have the shortest walk to the boat club out of any college, and I'm very jealous. But it's also up a massive hill. It is a 25-minute walk to science site, 15 minutes to Albert Riverside, 15 minutes to town. I know they're putting some students in Rushford Court and some other places. Rushford Court, I'd probably say, is like a 25-minute walk to class, 20 to Albert Riverside, 15 to town roughly, but I don't honestly know. Static, I'm gonna give it 6 out of 10. It is a really nice college. It's just in such a random place. It's a shame because it is a really gorgeous building, and I think if it was on the hill I would have rated it really, really high. The rooms look very dated. Maybe that's why they're doing renos. I have never been to their bar, but guessing from the pictures it could also use some work. In my experience, 5 out of 10. The people are pretty nice. Only know a few. It's weird because this is one of Durham's biggest colleges. I've never been to the bar, but given that it's going under renovations right now, I don't think anything I say will matter in a few years. For overall vibe, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. It's in a weird place, but I can't wait to see what it looks like after it's done its renovations. So its total score comes to a 20 out of 40. All right, so that is that for me rating all the colleges. You could probably go through and watch part 1 again and kind of see how everything's gonna slot out. If you want to give me that view that way, I won't say no. But if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, or subscribe. I filmed this on the 17th of April. I was aiming to hit 100 subscribers for my birthday, which is the 28th of June, and I hit 100 this Saturday, which is amazing. But I'm a very like goal-oriented person, so now I want to hit 200 for my birthday. Could please subscribe to me. I would really appreciate. If you don't want to, it's no big deal. I hope I will see you again soon. If you are coming to Durham this year as a fresher and you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section, because I kind of want to make a part 2 to my answering Durham students questions, which I'll also put up in the tags. I think that's everything. So that's time for our end of video tradition. Water bottle. We take a sip of our water and we stay healthy, we stay hydrated, and we are kind to other people, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.